So my name is Kristin Riching. I actually just completed my PhD this past December in Patricia Keeley's lab at UW. And so what I've been working on here is trying to understand how cells recognize and migrate in aligned collagen. And basically the reason why we want to understand that is because around a breast tumor, the collagen extracellular matrix fibers become aligned around the perpendicular boundary of the tumor, and we think that that facilitates cell migration. My typical day, I get in and I kind of assess, the day's events. So a lot of times I have to do some cell culture or, set up my experiment. If I've got that set up, then I'll probably do some imaging, and then a lot of my time is actually spent doing analysis because I do a lot of imaging. I have tons and tons of data that I need to analyze. So I would say probably 80% of my time I spent on the computer doing analysis. In high school, I guess I became a little bit interested in engineering. And in my family, I have several engineers who are more traditional electrical and mechanical engineers. And so engineering was kind of in my background. It was something that I kind of knew that I was also destined to go into, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. And so in college, I actually did biomedical engineering because I was really interested in the biological sciences, and I wanted to be able to apply engineering to biological and medical problems. I had my first experience with research I guess as a sophomore in college. So I was in the biomedical engineering program, and there were a couple labs that were seeking some undergraduate helpers or assistants, and so I applied for some of those, and that's how I got my foot in the door initially. And then that led me, so I was doing some basic like lab maintenance type things, but then after that I actually had my own little undergraduate research project, and so that's what really got me interested in pursuing grad school. So that's kind of how I ended up here. When I came in to the lab, the story on the alignment was a really new story. Our lab had actually just pretty much discovered at that point, maybe a couple years prior, had just discovered that this alignment occurs in breast cancer, and it wasn't seen anywhere else in any cancer. And so it was a really new area, and I guess the biggest change that I saw was how much that got noticed by the rest of the field. Right now, I'm sort of trying to finish up my project, and there's a lot of interest out there in terms of the alignment, and a lot more people are looking at this signature and trying to understand how cells recognize it, and not just in the context of breast cancer, but in the context of other cancers as well. We do a lot of imaging here. We actually recently developed some software that allows us to identify these regions of aligned fibers, so we're able to essentially get a number or a measure of alignment, because they're 3D, so you can kind of go to the top and see as they start to go out of focus and then go back down. The challenge is really the fact that we still seem very limited by technology, and so I mean, one of the things that we're always trying to do is expand our ability to image breast tumors and to develop new techniques to not only analyze them, but to image them and to quantify the data. And I'd say that that's still an area that we're really trying to develop, and it's always going to be a limitation. Being able to reliably quantify that, but then also translate that into the clinic and in patients, where we can actually look at a patient and be able to see the signature without having to do any invasive procedure. So that's kind of the goal, is to try to take these techniques that we can do here, but then apply that in a clinical setting. And so the technology for that right now doesn't exist.
How do you like research?
I love it, in fact. I mean, I love having a project that is kind of my own, that nobody else is really working on, and it's very cutting edge. So that's always something that draws me to science and to what I do. You're kind of like the expert, but in that respect, you are also learning everything as you go, because I mean, you're starting this and not knowing anything, and nobody else really knows anything. So it is a little bit daunting at first too, but you also have the freedom to be creative and to apply different approaches and different techniques, and I think that that's what really excites me about it.